It was a Thursday night in a quiet suburban neighborhood. The kind of neighborhood where crime was something people saw on television, not something they expected at their doorstep. Streetlights glowed like small dying stars. The air was still, and the houses looked peaceful behind drawn curtains. Inside one of those houses lived a 14-year-old boy named Ethan Murdoch. He was average in nearly every way. Average grades, average height, average life. That night he was home alone. His mom, Denise, worked at a hospital, doing a double shift in the emergency department. She'd left at 2:40 p.m., kissed him on the head, told him there was leftover pizza in the fridge, and reminded him to lock the front door after she left. Ethan had done exactly that. Then he spent the early evening on the couch, scrolling through YouTube shorts, eating half the pizza, and trying to keep himself distracted from the eerie silence that comes with being the only human presence inside a house. He didn't know someone else was already inside. Someone unseen, someone patient, someone breathing quietly just a few feet above his head, separated only by wooden boards and plaster. Later, the police would estimate the intruder had been inside the attic for nearly 5 hours before Ethan ever heard a sound. But right now, the night still looked ordinary, and Ethan didn't suspect a single thing. Around 10:30 p.m., Ethan locked up the living room, turned off the TV, and walked toward the staircase. He wasn't planning to sleep yet, but he wanted to brush his teeth, change a shirt, and maybe lie in bed scrolling memes until he passed out. Halfway up the stairs, his foot froze, because from directly above him, from the ceiling, he heard it. A single footstep. Sharp, solid, heavy. Thump. It came from the upstairs floor, directly above the living room. The sound didn't match anything like house settling. It sounded like a shoe. A heavy shoe stepping on wood. Ethan stood frozen on the staircase, his breath held in his throat. His brain instantly tried to rationalize it. Maybe it was the neighbor's house. Maybe he imagined it. Maybe it was the heater turning on. Except the heater didn't make footstep sounds. Ethan slowly walked up. He checked his room. He checked the guest room. He checked the upstairs bathroom. No one. Silence. For the next 10 minutes, he wandered in circles, trying to convince himself he must have misheard it. He headed back downstairs. He tried to shake it off, but the seed of fear had already rooted. An hour passed. Ethan sat on the couch again, phone in hand, trying desperately to distract himself, but his focus was broken. He kept lowering the volume on videos to listen for the slightest sound. Suddenly, there it was again, this time, multiple steps. Slow, deliberate, in sequence, creak. Creak, creak. And this time, the footsteps weren't even muffled. They sounded like someone shifting weight on floorboards. Ethan couldn't move. His legs trembled. This wasn't imagination anymore. Someone, something was walking above him. He didn't want to go upstairs again. The very thought of looking felt dangerous, like if he turned the wrong corner, someone might be standing inches from him in the dark. He texted his mom at 11:53 p.m., "I think there's someone upstairs." His mother texted back instantly, "Lock your room, don't go up there, stay quiet." So Ethan tiptoed to his bedroom, locked his door, sat on the floor with his back pressed to it, and just listened. For over an hour, the footsteps continued occasionally, sometimes light, sometimes slow, sometimes nothing for 20 minutes. Then suddenly again, another creak, another thump. It felt like the sound of someone pacing, like someone deciding something, like someone waiting. Ethan didn't sleep at all. He sat awake, trembling until dawn. At 7:12 a.m., Ethan's mom returned. As soon as she stepped inside, Ethan rushed into her arms, nearly shaking. His mother believed him instantly because she could see in his eyes that he wasn't exaggerating. They dialed 911. 2 officers arrived, Officer Ramirez and Officer Collins. Friendly, calm, not expecting much. They assumed maybe raccoon in the attic, maybe old planks shifting, the usual explanations. But protocol required they check every space. They searched rooms, nothing. They searched closets, nothing. Finally, they pulled down the foldable attic ladder. The moment they pushed their flashlight beam into the dark attic space, the mood changed, because on the dusty floor there were footprints. Not one, not 2, multiple. They weren't old, they were sharply defined in fresh dust. The police instantly switched tone. They told Ethan and his mom to wait outside. They swept the attic carefully, and then Officer Ramirez radioed for backup. Because these weren't just footprints. They were size 11 men's boot prints, the kind used by construction laborers. Very specific. Later, detectives ran a comparison. Those footprints matched the ones belonging to a wanted intruder. A man who had been breaking into homes, hiding in attics, watching families sleep for weeks across the region. Sometimes he left before morning. Sometimes he didn't. Sometimes the victim did not survive the night. When Ethan learned the truth, he broke. He cried, not because he was scared anymore, but because he suddenly understood something horrifying. He wasn't alone last night. He was being listened to, measured, observed. The intruder had been standing directly above him, deciding whether to come down or not. That entire night, Ethan wasn't safe. He was chosen to be watched. And by random chance, by unpredictable human psychology, the intruder simply never descended. If he had, Ethan would never have lived to tell police about the sound he heard. That night, there was no ghost, no demon, no paranormal entity, just a silent human predator hiding in darkness, breathing above him while he sat alone in fear. Sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones we can touch. People fear ghosts, demons, shadows, ancient curses, but the truth is much colder.
Sometimes the danger isn't supernatural. Sometimes it's just a man waiting, listening, deciding what to do next while you sleep under the same roof. This was not a legend, not a rumor, not a campfire story. This happened. This is real. And tonight, somewhere, someone else might be hearing footsteps in the attic, thinking it's nothing, thinking it's just noise, not knowing that someone else is up there.